No. No.
Square root of 4.
What does it equal?
2.
It equals exactly 2. It can have all kinds of zeros after the decimal point. It's exactly 2. What about the square root of 9? What does that equal?
3.
And it's 3 point all those zeros afterwards. But what about the square root of 6? It doesn't have an exact square root. This is called an irrational number. So what we're going to do with lesson 92 is estimate. Estimate is another word for guess and check. You know what that means? You come up with what you think might be true and you try it. If it isn't, you try something else. Okay? Since the square root of 4 is 2 and the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 6 is going to have to be between what two numbers? 2 and 3. Okay. So it's going to be 2 point something. What? I don't know. But the way we can find out is by checking something. What shall we check? 2 point how much? 2.5. Okay. 2.5. That's probably a good idea. 2.5. So we'll multiply the two of them together. 5 and 2, 12. 10, 5. 5, 2, 6. And move it over. Okay, that's 6.25. That's a pretty fair guess. Would we guess something larger or smaller than 2? Okay, so what will it be?
3.
2.3? All right, so we'll go to 2.3. That's 9, 6, 6, 4, 9, 12, 5 point. Okay, that's too small, right?
2.4.
Let's try 2.4. 2.4 times 2.4. 6, 9, 8, 4, 6, 7, 5. Okay, so that means it has to be between 2.4 and 2.5. Because at 2.5 it was 6.25, and at 2.4 it's 5.76. All right, so then we could try something like 2.45. Well, it looks huge, but it won't be huge. Okay? This would be 5, 2. You guys got to stay with me here today. You know how I am with multiplication. 0 and 2, 18, 9, 0, 9, and 4. 5, 2, 10, 20. Oh, look at that. That's really, really close. 2.45 comes out to be the square root of 6.0025 would be 2.45. So that would be a reasonable estimate. And that's what we would run. Now the first thing you want to do is try and figure out between what two numbers you'd find it. Suppose you were doing the cube root of 8 and the cube root of 27. What is the cube root of 8? 2. And what is the cube root of 27? All right, so if we wanted to find the cube root of 20, it's going to have to be between 2 and 3. And then we would just do that guess and check. Only we've got cubes, so we can multiply 3 times. Now, I think that for the most part, they're only going to ask you to estimate these to one place, maybe 2 at the most. With a cube, you probably don't have to go more than 1. But you'd have to try it, like you'd have to go, 2.6 times 2.6. Let's do that 2.5 thing again. That was 6.25. And then you have to multiply that by 2.5. Okay, so the square root of that would be 15.6 or the square root of 15.625 would be 2.52. So we gotta go higher than that, higher than 2.5. Now, have I totally confused you?
No.
A little bit.
Just a little. Well, what's the matter with me? Why am I not getting through to you to be totally confused this morning? I'm not very successful here, am I? You guys try this problem, okay? I'll try not to make it too hard. We'll do square root. And because of the timing situation, we'll keep it simple. We're going to do the square root of 23. And you only have to have it to one decimal place. All right, so now think, what would you do first? You know it's going to be between what? 2.
How do you find how it's going to be between the two numbers?
Okay, that's a good question. We need to think about it. What are the square numbers that you know? 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. Okay, the square root of 23 is between which of these two?
16 and 25.
All right, so you would have the 16, the square root of 16, and the square root of 25. What is the square root of 16?
4,
And the square root of 25?
5.
So it's going to be somewhere between 4 and 5. 4 point something. All right? So try it. What do you think it is? What do you think it is?
This is my first guess, 4.8.
4.8? Did it work?
I got 23.04.
23.04.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's more than the square root of 23.
Okay.
So that might be a little bit too big. How about you, Ellie? What'd you get?
I got 4.7.
And how far did that go?
22.0.
Okay, so that would get you close. You want it to be beneath it, not. So you had this was going to be 4.7. What did you get?
Well, how do you know when to write that down and when to keep going and trying to get something closer?
Okay, when they ask you how far out to go, if you only have to go to one decimal place, that's this. If they say go to 17, you have to keep going. But they'll not do that to you. You aren't going to have to go more than 2. Because it is a guess and check operation. And when it's guess and check, it's a matter of, you're going to have to keep multiplying and multiplying. This, guys, is a good scratch paper project. And I've got lots of scratch paper over there on the counter. And I strongly suggest when you're doing this, you use scratch paper. Is there any other question about this? It's not